Welcome back to Dark Knights. We left off with Corrado telling us that he traveled through time. As you can see. I'm not originally from this century. Well, of course not. His words linger in my head, but none of them really register. I can only blink at the him. I'm from this village, but that was a long time ago. When I was 7 years old, there was an incident and suddenly everything was different. It took me a while to realize that centuries had passed. Nobody knew where I came from or what to do with me. I was scared out of my wits, but thankfully, a couple took me in and cared for me until I eventually moved out. I didn't lie about being adopted, just so you know. Now, the animal part is another story. He averts his eyes from my gaze. I tilt my head, wondering why he's so hesitant about telling me. You mentioned that you don't like animals, right? Well, I used to have a pet rabbit, but it ran away. Since then, I always believed the animals just didn't like me. Don't take it to heart. Anyway, I don't particularly dislike animals. You being a cute bunny cat doesn't matter, you're still you. But if you try sneaking into my bed in that form... His lips form a smile, but he visibly relaxes at my words. I was cursed by the same person who sent me through time. Bad luck, huh? Yeah... No one likes the occult. They shouldn't. I believe there's a way to break my curse, but that's not my main concern right now. People are still missing, and I don't think the murders are going to stop anytime soon. Roya claimed to be the one behind those disappearances, but I don't believe it was entirely his doing. It was probably just bad luck they all happened at the same time. I'm impressed he still thinks about his job. Even when he's so sick, he's even prioritizing it over his own curse. Don't look at me like that, I'll be fine. My only concern is Chain. It's a bit risky to work with him, but he's the only colleague I know who's familiar with the supernatural. I worry about what it'll do to me if I accidentally slip up, but as long as he never finds out, I can keep working with him. We're probably gonna have to save this guy's life. You can't help being cursed, he might understand. It'll just sound like an excuse to him. That guy's merciless. Why is he after supernatural creatures? I think he told me once, but I forgot. I think sometimes he takes trophies from the things he kills and sells them off. I don't really know much about it. I hear Corrado, but all I can think about is the story he told me about himself. He must have been so scared, being all alone in a different environment. Even now, he's still not safe. Are you crying? No, I just had dust in my eye. Yeah, that's what they all say. Come on, that's the lamest excuse I've ever heard. I was just thinking that you've been walking on edge. I can't help but feel sorry for you. My life isn't that bad. I mean, you let me stay here, and you're still talking to me even after finding out how weird I am. I'm just glad you didn't freak out on me. I can run away screaming about magical bunnies if you want. He laughs at my joke, but I notice his shoulders dropping. He must be very relieved after sharing this. Chapter 3: Death Hours. The hallway is more crowded than usual. It looks like the entire school is gathered in front of my class. I try to push my way through the crowd, but to my annoyance, nobody will let me through. I notice Leoji approaching. He must know more about this uproar since he is the student council. He's in the student council. Hey, Leoji, what's going on? Those doors are completely dark and blocking the doorway. We got 2 transfer students. I guess everyone wants to see them. Huh, we haven't had any new students in ages. And there's 2? That's interesting. He shrugs as if nothing exciting about it. When the teacher heads our way, everyone goes to their own classes. I can finally access the classroom. The new faces immediately grab my attention. They're standing near the front. The lower half of their faces are bandaged, which is pretty unusual. The strange appearances are probably why they attracted so much attention. Matching scars. Heh. Hello everyone. We have 2 new students joining us today. The redhead gives us a friendly wave before introducing himself. Hey guys, name's Jace, and that's my brother Blaze. Those are really bad names. You probably already figured out that we're twins. We moved from a far big city for personal reasons. We have to have a good time here. During the introduction, Blaze stands there in silence. He doesn't even make contact with us. The class looks at him, expecting him to say something, but Jace takes over instead. Once Jace is finished, the class starts bombarding them with questions in their excitement. Who's the older twin? Blaze. He's a perfect grumpy older brother, isn't he? The difference was about 5 minutes during birth because Blaze was very impatient. Heh. Are you single? My, that's bold, but we're both single right now. Who knows how things will turn out, though. So mysterious. What are the bandages for? Well, that's because it's none of your business. Blaze snaps and pins the guy with threatening glare. Everyone else falls silent in the tense atmosphere. All eyes on the brothers. The older brother keeps glaring at the guy, his gaze full of hatred. Jace chuckles to break the ice and moves in front of his brother. We got a permanent disease, but don't worry, it only affects us. It's not a pretty sight, so we try to keep it covered, and no, we're not going to show you. I see. Jace's friendliness diffuses the situation, but the class shortly moves past Blaze's outburst. I glance over at them in curiosity throughout the lesson. Each has a unique personality, yet they have the same strange aura. Perhaps I'm jumping to conclusions, but I get the feeling they're going to be trouble. Well, I hope they find themselves fitting into this class. As I'm about to take a nap, I feel a slight chill. Someone is watching me. Cold blue eyes are staring in my direction. It feels like Blaze is trying to read my mind. Shivers run down my spine, and I turn away from him. He wasn't looking at me, was he? So far, he's been avoiding eye contact with everyone. Calm down, Miyako. Perhaps he's staring at someone behind me. There's no one behind you. Come lunchtime, the cafeteria is even louder than usual. A crowd has gathered around the new students, half of them trying to get a look at them or ask questions. Why are you sitting here all alone? I can't find Ryuji and everyone else is well occupied. Are you jealous of the twins? What, of course. I'm just waiting until after school to go buy bandages so I can look just like the cool kids. She chuckles at my sarcasm. What do you think of them? I don't know. I think they're suspicious. I was talking about their looks. They look like mummies. I'm joking. Their faces are covered. Okay, yeah, there's not much to judge. Aw, you're so cold. I shrug in response. By the way, have you decided who your partner will be for the ball? Not yet. I don't even know if I'm going. I know you're a fan of those kind of events. It only happens once a year. Don't miss this chance. Just make sure you don't end up going alone. That'd be embarrassing because of the couple rule. There is such a rule? Oh boy. What about you? My brother would take my desserts for a month if I went to anyone else other than him. If I could, I'd gladly pair up with you. I think Ryuji's still available though. I see. Unless there's somebody else you're thinking about going with. She got me, but I don't want to admit it. I don't even know if Corrado has time for such events. Besides, is it even appropriate to ask a guard for a date? Oh well, I can always bring him as my bodyguard. Our girl's talking about some kind of party. Startled, I turn around to see Jace bend over with an amused expression. I pull back once I see his face. How long have you been standing there for? Just a short while. Relax. Don't creep up on people like that. So, were you talking about a Halloween party or something? That'd make a good mummy, don't you think? I can hear the amusement in his voice. He seems fine with joking about himself. With half his face covered, I can't read his expression well. I wonder if he's offended by my mention about bandages. Oh, you haven't heard? The school's holding a masquerade ball, but you have to have a partner. That wouldn't be a problem. I always have my brother with me. Though I wouldn't mind taking either of you to the party. His expression is difficult to read, so I can't tell if he's joking or flirting. His eyes crinkle as if he was smiling. Before either of us reply, he waves at us before going back to his seat. He sure is something. What, falling for him already? It's still too early. I do want to get him to know him better, though. Go for it and ditch your brother, he'll be fine. I feel guilty if I do that, though. I've been pressuring him to go, and he doesn't have any friends to go with. But you deserve to have a good time too. Maybe. I'm going to try convincing him again and find a date for him. Good luck, Kikuya. After class, Leoshi asked me to bring a few papers to the student council room. He's been running everywhere all day to prepare for the ball, so I thought I would do him a favor and help him with the remaining tasks. I ended up carrying an entire pile, which is a little too heavy for me. This task is so grueling. Did he say it was just a few papers? I need help to finish this faster. I wonder where Kuya ran off to. At least the hallways are empty now. It'd be troublesome to bump into someone and drop this. When I turn the corner, I see Kaichi against the wall, at the other end of the hallway as if in hiding. While approaching him, I greet him cheerfully. Kaichi. He glanced at me for a second but does not reply. I'm talking to you. Shut up, Miss Boardface. Like you're any better, you midget. With a piercing glare, he dashes towards me and pushes a small hand against my mouth. Startled, I almost dropped the papers on his other hand, quickly supports the bottom of his pile. He shakes his head and slightly tilts it in the direction against the edge of the wall. I quickly nod and he lets me go. I follow Kaichi to his original position, their voices coming from the other side, but those stay still as we listen. What's the point of attending school anyway? It's boring. Come on, don't you think it's fun to hang around people our age? We aren't. It's good to socialize once in a while. Do what you want, but don't get carried away. Just focus on the job. Fine. By the way, have you found our next target? Yeah, it's that girl with purple glasses. There can't be just one. Who else? It'd be too conspicuous. Soon they'll suspect something is up. I think the guy sitting in front of your class will do. What was he called again? Maybe I should start memorizing names. You're only here temporarily. It'd be a waste of time. Anyway, take care of that one. I'm not cleaning up after you. What are the two of you up to? I moved closer, straining my ears, but suddenly the posture slipped from my arms. Oh no. My cover blown, the twins see me and walk in my direction. In a panic, I look back, but Kaichi is already gone. That brat. What are you doing here? I thought everyone already left. I'm just taking these to the student council room. Ah, let me help you with that. Jay spins down to pick up the papers that fell on the ground. Blaze stands there with his arms crossed, looking at me with narrowed eyes. His cold gaze makes me feel nervous, but I try to keep my act together. Pretend you just walked by, Miyako. Did you hear? Hear what? Don't play dumb. You obviously heard our conversation. I didn't. Blaze moves closer to intimidate me. Unless you want some serious trouble, keep out of our business. Done. Here you go. Oh, thanks. Jace moves in front of his brother, putting the papers he picked up on top of the pile. Hey, how would I carry this for you? We're leaving. He starts tracking his brother away. Jace looks back at me as if he wants to apologize. After they leave, I shake my head. It sounded like they were plotting something with two students, but I only heard half of their conversation, so I'm not sure. There's definitely something suspicious about those two. Of course there's something suspicious. Murder. I should talk about it with Kurata. Or not. Honey, I'm home. Hey, Shane's here. When I get home, the sight of Kurata and Shane in the living room makes me pause. What are you two doing? Both are already turned in my direction as I walk in. Kurata meets my glare with a guilty smile while Shane stares. You said you're allowed to invite friends over while I'm away. I know. It's an emergency. Since I'm here, can you tell me what happened? You don't mind, right, Shane? Shane crosses his arms and averts his eyes. Kurata takes that he doesn't mind. I take a seat behind or beside Kurata and wait for them to start talking. Shane's client got killed by someone while he was on another case. There's been another murder? Apparently he wasn't working alone. Or maybe we had two unrelated killing sprees going on and that just happened to use the same methodology. We're missing too many details to say for certain. It's hard to keep up with just the two of us. So you're asking me for help? No, we're saying you might die. Shane, we're supposed to make her feel safe, not scare her. It's pointless to hide it from her. There aren't enough guards to keep every villager safe. And she should know that she can't be watched all the time. Tell me if there's something I can do. Anything besides sitting here and waiting until something happens. I'd rather call my colleagues, at least they wouldn't be a burden, even if they have no experience with such events. Such events. We're dealing with supernatural beings. I knew it right from the first case. I think Chain's right. With a situation like this, you shouldn't get yourself involved. Come on, please. They both shake their heads in disapproval. It frustrates me to hear them repeatedly refuse my help. It gave Corrado a dry look. I thought he'd agree with me. An idea forms in my head. Right. Chain doesn't know about Corrado's secret. I can totally use it to blackmail him. Byrne has many qualities, like being trustworthy. Would you say you two trust each other? I smile and notice Corrado's eyebrows twitching. We've known each other since our childhood. We can definitely rely on one another. Only because we're colleagues. Then Shane, did you know something happened too? Shane, we should let her help. She's been running about since we met. I'm sure we can find something for her to do. Shane shoots Corrado a confused look. Whatever. She's not my responsibility. If you want to risk both their lives, go right ahead. I don't care about those who jump into their own graves. We're not gonna die. Thank you for the fortune telling, but we can handle ourselves just fine, right? I nudge Corrado with my elbow and he meekly murmurs in agreement. Chain does not bother to reply. Finally, we continue to discuss how we should handle the situation. I remember what happened in school with Blaze and Jace earlier, so I throw the topic in. Chain doesn't take me seriously, but Corrado keeps quiet considering the idea. Eventually, he agrees to keep an eye on them just in case, while Chain continues looking into the rest of the suspects on the list. The meeting doesn't last long before Chain goes back to work. As soon as the door closes, Corrado groans, slumping against the couch before turning to glare at me. Miyako, did he really need to scare me like that? I didn't know how else to convince you. Why were you worried he would actually believe me? You could have easily avoided the topic. I didn't think of that. Anyway, I know I said I'd protect you, but because of what happened, they're already spreading out the security team. You won't see me here as often. That's obvious. You can't be next to me all day. Still, it feels like I failed again. I gently pat Corrado on his shoulder and let out a sigh. It's not like him to act so negative. Hey, how about you teach me some self-defense? I don't want to be a deadweight. Huh, that's a good idea. I can teach you some of the simpler stuff. Come here. We spend the rest of the day with Corrado teaching me self-defense moves. Throughout the lesson, he emphasizes that I should avoid confrontations the best I can, explaining how I can use what he's teaching me to distract an attacker and buy time to escape or get help. Corrado's surprisingly knowledgeable about this. This professional side of him almost makes me forget his typical laid-back character. At the end of our short session, I promise Corrado that I will continue to practice while he is out working. I managed to get the basics down. Tonight, Corrado is more cautious than usual. He sits close to me, up like a guard dog. I decided to strike up a conversation to break the silence. Out of curiosity, can you transform whenever you want? Are you suggesting something? Not really, I just remember seeing you around the house a few times. You sure are reckless with your secret. To be honest, I don't really have control over it, and it's gotten more out of hand these past few weeks. I practiced a lot, but sometimes it happens randomly. Sorry if I scared you. You're anything but scary. I'm sorry I tried to use it against you earlier. It's okay. I told you because I trust you. Just please don't let anyone find out, especially Jane. I wonder, is it possible to save Roya's life? Do you really think he'd kill you? Absolutely. He wants to get rid of all supernatural beings, regardless of who they are. I was there when he found his cousin was a vampire. He killed her without a second thought. I don't think he spared me either. Why hang around him if it's that risky? Keep our enemies closer, or something like that. Besides, only the two of us have experience in supernatural hunts, and I can't do it alone. You haven't explained to me why you're hunting them. The reason is, it's hard to explain, Miyako. To be honest, I'm confused myself. I've taken so many lives, it doesn't feel like anything now. I tell myself I had to be done and I don't regret what I did, but thinking about what I do makes me question myself even more. I realize that no person, no action is inherently good or evil. In the end, all comes down to the choices we make. I have to disagree with you there. If I turned out to be a demon, would you kill me too? Don't be ridiculous. You're the only person keeping me sane. I'd rather stay by your side like this than live alone without a curse. It might sound cheesy, but you're important to me. He looks away shyly, and I can very vaguely make out his flushed cheeks. Hearing those words coming from him make me feel warm. He's been caring for me since we met, and more than a normal guard should. Perhaps it has something to do with our past. He mentioned once we have met before, but I wonder why I can't remember. Maybe your character was a witch or something, and both of you went forward in time. Something like that. Today, Corrado decides to come with me to school. He wants to see the transfer students with his own eyes. The twins arrived to class late, and I noticed one of my classmates, a girl who wears purple glasses, is absent today. Could it be coincidence, or did something happen to her? Hey Miyako, something wrong? What? No. What makes you think that? You've been staring at the twins all day, and I haven't caught you sleeping once. It's nothing. You really sure? You sure you're not crushing on them? Of course not. I already told you yesterday. I barely know them. Not to mention they might have murdered one of our classmates. So you say. Well then, which one's the most interesting to you? I don't think this one matters too much. Both, I guess? Sorry, they're just side characters. Achievement unlocked. Oh my, I never knew into that sort of thing, Miyako. That's not... Akia, stop teasing me. Let's talk about you. What are you up to lately? You've been leaving early lately. I'm making decorations for the ball. They usually mention they were short on volunteers, so I'd be disappointed if they had to postpone or cancel the event because we couldn't finish everything by Saturday. I see. How nice of you. If you have nothing else to do, you're free to join me. Sorry, I'm a bit busy at the moment. I'll help you out when I have time. I actually do have time after school. I was planning to help Crowder with the murder cases. I feel bad from hiding this from her, but knowing her, she would tell me it's too dangerous and try to stop me. Or get murdered herself. During lunch break, I meet up with Crowder. Everyone's looking at me. You should be used to it. Everyone from the elite class is popular. No, it's because of this ridiculous outfit. I look like your butler. Oh, you actually care about your appearance? Of course, I'm fashionable. I don't think you know what that means. Grotto clears his throat and changes the topic. Any news about the transfer students? The girl they mentioned last week didn't show up to class. It could be a coincidence, but I doubt it. Where are they now? I don't know. I didn't see where they went. Seems like we'll have to wait until classes end. I wonder if Corrado plans to confront them. There's no way I can ask the twins directly, especially after Blaze's threat the other day. After class, Corrado waits for me outside. Seems he finished early. Akia notices I'm looking and asks me about it. I didn't Corrado to her as my friend. I didn't know you hang around people from the elite class. I get a little flustered as he looks at me with a mischievous grin. She takes my arm and pulls me closer before whispering. Is he really just your friend? What are you implying? You guys seem close. You're reading too much into this. I see. If you ever need help, I'm here for you. She winks to me before leaving us alone. Were you talking about me? Just some private stuff. Nothing you need to worry about. Anyway, Corrado, look there. Those are the transfer students I was talking about. Corrado observes them as they pass by. He judges them with thoughts. His lips form a small O. I do not understand what that implies. After the twins are out of sight, Corrado sighs and crosses his arms. Yeah, there's definitely something strange about those two. I'm not sure how to explain, but something about them doesn't feel right. I thought the same, but there's no proof they've done anything wrong. Hey, don't worry. We'll figure them out soon enough. They can't hide their true intentions forever. Are we going after them? There's no need, I have a plan. Smiling confidently, he gives me a thumbs up. I'll assume he knows what he's talking about then. If you can, keep a close eye on them for a while. I don't know if it's a good idea to follow them. Last time I almost got caught. Wait, I know someone who might be good at spying. Huh? You want me to stalk someone? Well, nobody would notice you because you're so small. Oh, I mean good at these things. I'm terrible at tracking people. You're good at researching background information, though. You've seen them, haven't you? They might be up to something, and this is just a precautionary drastic measure. I'm not interested in them. Have fun by yourself. So that wasn't you in the hallway last week? Guess I must have imagined it. Kaichi sighs and lowers the book he's reading. He glances at me and thinks for a moment before speaking. I just wanted to confirm something about the new students. It's a personal thing and none of your concern. I don't care what you do, just be careful. You might bring disasters upon yourself. The conversation ends there, so I leave him alone. I don't need Kaichi's help, I can follow them myself. I'm not shaken by his words, but he is right. I have to go about this carefully, or I'll end up dead. The twins are absent the next day. I walk around the village after class, but I can't even catch a glimpse of them. Of course, they skip class as soon as we come up with a plan. It's okay, we have more chances. The next day after that, only Blaze, the gloomier of the two, shows up. Without Jace around to brighten his atmosphere, nobody approaches him. He looks lonely sitting by himself. During the lunch break, he leaves the classroom and I take the chance to follow him. I tell Ikuya and Leoshi I'm going to lunch alone in case they look for me. Nibbing on my sandwich, I keep a distance beside Blaze. Speaking of lunch, I've never seen him eat. I noticed we are getting closer to the elite class. Did he come here for peace or quiet or something else? Suddenly he walks faster and takes a sharp turn. Hoping to not lose him, I quickly run to catch up, but the hallway's empty. Could he have gone into the classrooms? I walk down the hallway looking through the windows of each classroom I pass. Suddenly a door slides open and someone grabs my arm, pulling me inside. My attacker twists me around, shoving me against the wall. Blaze frowns at me for a second before releasing my arm. Taking a step back to close the door and lean against it, blocking my escape. So you were following me. Blaze glares at me, waiting for an explanation. Huh. Telling me shouldn't go this way. Here's my sandwich. Never see you eat, so I thought you might be hungry. I wanted to give you the sandwich. He looks at me as if I failed a magic trick. He shoved the sandwich back and shakes his head. Nice try, but you won't get me to unwrap my bandages. Why not? Are you embarrassed? It would give you nightmares. You can't look that scary. I'm not gonna repeat myself. You hardly know me. How can you possibly know how I'll react? Anyway, let's head back. Blaze straightens but rests his hand on the door instead of opening it. I give him a confused look. One more thing. Stay away from me. You're annoying. Did I do something to upset you? If you explained it to me, it'd make things clearer. I want you to leave me alone. Is that clear enough? Blaze stares at me as if expecting a reply. When I stay silent, he puts his arm back and leaves out another word. I should be more careful about my cover. I might annoy him to the point that he might do something to throw off my investigation. I'm still convinced he's up to something. While I continue to observe him during class, I notice he keeps staring at the guy in front of his seat. I notice Blaze clenching his fist, which makes me nervous. If Jace was here, I would have asked him about it. He seems like the type of guy that would share. After class, I continue to discuss with Corrado. I tell him who the next target might be. If they really are related to the incidents, would they show their faces in school of all places? I did some checking at work but can't find anything on them. They aren't special investigators. They must be new in the village. What's our next move? I'll strain to keep an eye on the target. If we're lucky, we'll be able to catch them in the act or at least eliminate them as suspects. Can you really pull it off? You're underestimating me on so many levels, Miyako. It's not like that. I'm concerned about your safety. What if the twins are dangerous? It'd be 2 against 1. Corrado reaches out to me and pats my shoulder. He beams to make me feel at ease. I smile weakly to him, but he gains my trust. Past 9 p.m., Corrado receives a phone call from Shane, reporting that his target is moving to the school. He asks Corrado for backup, so we both head out. Seriously? Why would anyone go to school this late? I heard there was a night class, though I don't know the details. You'd think the school would cancel that since it's dangerous around this time. Maybe. Hey, Corrado, if Shane turned out to be a demon, would you kill him? I seriously doubt he's this demon, and no, I wouldn't kill him despite what he claims. I still consider him a friend. So if you were friends with all supernatural beings, you wouldn't need to kill him. It's not that simple, because you're making it complicated. Corrado rubs the back of his head and smiles softly. He's pretending to agree with me, but I know he still has his doubts. When we arrive, the front doors are unlocked. Seems someone's already here. Entering the dark building, we look for Shane and the target. Even though Corrado mentioned the night class, there's no sign of other students. Our footsteps echo through the space as we wander around. Why don't you call Shane? You told me not to. Might disturb him or alert the target. Do you really think Blaze will show up? We're waiting for Blaze to take the bait, with 2 investigators and a student as witness. It should be enough as evidence. Maybe. Just try to be patient. Gives a comforting smile and pats my shoulder. Suddenly, Corrado stops walking, grabs my hand and presses his index finger against his lips and gestures for me to stay still. Strange sounds. A mixture of footsteps and something metallic being dragged across the floor. Echo from the hall in front of us, going closer. Corrado and I rush into the nearest classroom, huddling together behind the door to peer through the opening. A tall blonde wearing a black and white shirt passes by. Something strange sticks out from his posterior, sweeping the floor as he walks. A tail? He holds a long scythe in his right hand with the blade dragging on the ground. There is something familiar about him, but I can't tell what it is. After he disappears down the hallway, Corrado and I come out from our hiding spot. Wait a second, didn't it mention a ghost or something in this school? We give each other confused looks as we wonder who it was. That scythe, I think it was a Shinigami. Or maybe just a really good cosplayer. You mean a death god? Why would one of those be wandering around the school? Probably to take someone's life. Thinking about it, did we lure in the wrong person? Never mind, Blaze. This is a golden opportunity to take a Shinigami's head. A devilish smile appears on his face as he rubs his chin. I know he's eager to take out supernatural creatures, but I don't think this is a good idea. Forget about it. We need to find Shane. But... put my hands on his cheeks and force him to look at me. We're here to give backup, not chase after another guy. Come on, let's go. You'll be quick, just wait here for a minute. Wait, do you know a quick way to kill a death god? You don't stand a chance alone. Corrado pulls my hand away from his face, smiling innocently. Thanks for your concern, but I'll be fine, trust me. Shane is dealing with the target right now, so I'm going to do a bit of crowd control. Blaze is only after that guy anyway, so you'll be fine by yourself. You can call me if something happens. Corrado lowers my hand and smiles innocently. Before I can say anything, he winks and runs off. Seriously, that good-for-nothing guard. Why can't he listen for me once? He said I'll be fine by myself, but still. I'm more worried about him. How can he be so sure he'd win against a Shinigami? I'm really curious what he's going to do with that Shinigami. I should follow him. With this thought in mind, I run after him into the dark hallways. I realize he's very fast. I can't keep up with him. A short while later, I can't find him. The building's huge and it could take hours to find him, since we're both moving from our positions. Never mind. Let's look for Shane. I keep walking, checking the classroom for a sign of other people. The place is the same school I attend, but the scenery at night is so different from what I am used to. After 15 minutes, I can only hear my own footsteps, almost as if I'm the only person here. I'm not someone who gets scared easily, but this is making me uneasy. It feels like I could be jumped at any time. If there are night classes, shouldn't someone be around? It's so creepy being here alone. Halfway up the stairs, I hear a voice. It sounds like someone's sobbing. I quickly make my way up, but my legs freeze before I reach the last step. The sound was coming from a strange figure, hunched over in the far corner of the landing with her back to me. Look below. It's coming for you. The largest messages make me even more terrified. I glance behind me to freeze in horror as I take in the headless body creeping up the stairs. The ghastly extremities are pale and bruised. Okay, that must be the thing that's trapped in the schooler. Blood drains from my face. Not another ghost. I have to get out of here. I glance back at the person, notice the message is gone. I decide to go up and continue to the second floor. The ghost or whatever it is did warn me about the other one. I stare at the person as I get closer. I dash past the sobbing specter, averting my gaze. Once they are out of sight, I make it to a safe spot. I grab my chest. That was one of the most nerve-wracking decisions I have ever made. I pull myself together and continue my search for Chain. If there's one thing I'm scared of, it is ghosts. They aren't harmful, but they put a certain strain on someone's mind. That never bothered me until now. Once I turn off this hallway, I see someone approaching me from a distance. Judging from the dark clothing, I hear the sound of metal dragging over the floor. It's the Shinigami from before. Good stuff, good stuff. Black smoke rising from each step he takes. As he gets closer, he raises his sight, then menacingly drops the tip along the wall. His sinister appearance in combination with the sharp sound frightens me. I quickly sprint in the opposite direction. I guess he isn't after me then, but I still don't know what he's doing here. The Man in Black. Achievement unlocked. Karadu dished me to chase that Shinigami down, so maybe he's not too far behind. I'll wait here for him. I get into a classroom out of his sight. It's better not to move around at all. Perhaps Chain will cross this area at some point. Suddenly hear the door to the classroom sliding open. With my back facing the door, I can only hear them enter. Hope the darkness is enough to hide me. I hear the person carefully walking around. They stop right behind me and I hold my breath, praying they don't find me. I wait nervously for the person to move again, but the room remains dead silent. I wonder if they've left the tables thrown away from me. Clattering loudly against some nearby chairs. Suddenly I feel someone touching my shoulder. Scared, I scramble away from them. Miyako, it's Blaze. I see a shadow moving in front of me, reaching out his hand. I take his hand and he helps me up to my feet. What are you doing here? Saving you. What? Let's get out of here. He turns around and gestures for me to come along. How'd you know I was here? You seriously expect me to believe that you came to school in the middle of the night just to rescue me? Blaze. He looks over his shoulder and raises an eyebrow. Why should I even go with you? Before you told me I'd be in trouble if I got involved with you. Now you're acting like a good guy. You can think what you want, but seriously, come with me. You're such a handful. I'm just taking you to the exit. He walks over me. His dark expression is not reassuring at all. Well, hey. I start to complain, but he doesn't let me go. Many thoughts cross my head, but one thing is for sure, I can't trust him. Blaze slows down his pace and glances at me. What are you doing? I don't know why, but you seem like you really want to stay. Well, do as you please. He fixes the bandage around his arm and looks annoyed. He takes his chance to escape before he changes his mind. I run in the opposite direction of where we were heading to. In the next hallway, someone's standing in the light. It's a Shinigami from before. I want to hide, but the Shinigami noticed me already. We meet again, Miyako. Do I know you? Hey, your home's the other way. You really plan on staying, don't you? Chills run down my spine when I hear Blaze's voice behind me. Now I'm cornered between two scary and suspicious people. Oh, you're here too. Awesome, what a coincidence running into you. Blaze, saves me the trouble of searching the whole night. I wouldn't be here if you actually had tracking skills, Kaichi. That name? Yeah, we met at the library. Full of mugging, you fell on top of me. Any of that ringing a bell? Guess I'm a little taller right now than you're used to, huh? Oh, I did mention I'm a Shinigami. What are you doing at school? I've been tracking a zombie for the past few days. I thought they were in this building. Zombies, what's going on here? Walking corpses that imitate the living. Blaze, you can't be. Kaichi glances over at Blaze with a suspicious look. Blaze, you can't be Dad. You've got the wrong idea. Then is he the serial killer? No, zombie slayer? I don't know if you humans have a name for my species, but I'm the Guardian of Hell's Gate. That doesn't exist, but so you're saying you're Cerebus? I'm here because Kaichi can't seem to handle this problem on his own. This is my duty and I don't need your help. I don't like being here either, but thanks to you this village is on the verge of destruction. Oh, so it's my fault. Guys, we all want the same thing. Can't we work together? No. 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 They both glare in my direction, fiercely against the idea. I don't understand why they dislike each other so much despite they have the same job. Back to hell, I can do it alone. You clearly can't. Look how many people have lost their lives in the past few weeks. At least I was inconspicuous. The villagers will eliminate you if you keep forgetting to erase your tracks. She was suspicious of you before you even revealed yourself. Then Blaze pulls at the bandages on his right hand, revealing a dark and shiny skin underneath. Kaichi raises his scythe. The metal shines in the moonlight, thirsty for blood. Still standing between them, I spread my arms to block their way. You guys can't fight here at school. Don't worry, the damage will be gone by the morning. Though, we can avoid this altogether if Blaze retreats. Retreat? Like hell. As I step back to be less of a target, something flashes through the hallway. An arm suddenly wraps around my waist, picking me up. I get carried away as the otherworldly creatures watch me with confused expressions. It takes a moment for me to realize it's Crado who picked me up. What? Questions later. We get a distance between us and the two. He puts me down. He gasps for air, a little out of breath, but before I can ask questions again, he explains the situation. How did you... You forget I have skills. It was easy to pinpoint your location once I realized you were gone. Please stop scaring me like this, it's not good for my heart. Chin already dealt with the target he was following. Apparently it was just a zombie. It was only one, so that's taken care of. But now we've got a bigger problem. About what? Did you know your classmate Kaichi's a Shinigami? I figured it out when I went after him, but... I wait for an answer, but he avoids my glance. After a moment, I somehow force the words out by poking him. Then give me the short version. It's a long story and we really need to focus on getting out of here. Tell me the short version or whatever. Just leave it for now. I grab his tie, yanking him down to my eyelid to give him a heated glare. He's definitely hiding something. Kratos' expression turns sorrowful. He places his hand on mine and whispers in a low voice. I did something bad. Which is? If we somehow make it out alive tonight, I'll tell you everything. I promise, okay? And maybe this is too sudden, but... I wait for Crado to say something, but he keeps his mouth shut. Never mind, let's go. Ah, he was gonna confess. Probably. Either way, Blaze and Kaichi are too slow or they're not following us. Crado looks around carefully and confirms the air is empty before sneaking out. Look, these guys are creatures of the night. Either we stay here and somehow survive until morning, or we get home as soon as possible. I'd rather get out of here, but I don't think I can keep running for so long. It isn't like we're safe outside, but staying in here increases the chance of being cornered. Good, I was thinking the same. Anyway, it's highly likely they will split up and look for us. If you can, distract whoever you bump into so I don't have to do both of them at once. I think you'll be fine since they're not after you. We're gonna play a big gamble and I really need you. You make it sound like we're putting our life on the line. Don't worry, I'm the target here. He pats my shoulders and gives me a confident smile. Uneasiness fills my chest. How can he be so relaxed this time? Tell me, would anyone get hurt or die? If they haven't killed each other already, perhaps. Try to find an exit. I'll do the same in a different direction. Go after Kaichi or Blaze. If Chain hasn't left already, stick with him and share the plan. If the situation gets worse, escape. Please be safe. He gives me a tight hug before we part ways. I watch him until he turns a corner. I should move on too. My thought plays scenarios of who I might bump into. And I think we'll end off here. Obviously I'm going to pick Kaichi since we have more experience with him. Granted his kid's off. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget the like button, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, goodbye.